Hello and welcome back to another update video. Now, this is a pretty interesting one because we've got a new boss, the Kerapac boss, and of course, being that it's a new boss, we get a portal straight from War's Retreat straight into there, which is going to be really useful. Now, I'm going to go over the actual update and what that's going to pertain to. So, here we are. Also, they've changed the update screen, so you click on like the different like banners, which is kind of cool. At first I looked through and I was like, is this just it? Is this all they're giving us? But no, there's a lot of information. So let's click on this. So time has officially run out. The first front of the Elder God Wars dungeon is here. So essentially the Nodon Dragonkin have risen from their age-long slumber. So it's talked about here that the primary mode of defense will be fighting the Nodon, a new set of Slayer creatures that require at least 92 Slayer to defeat. Those of you with 90 construction will also get to play around with their powerful siege engines, destroy them, and you'll help turn the tide of battle. So yeah, new Slayer creatures. Of course, it says here as well that we'd get help from Ziliana, Nex, Kriara, and Krill, which is going to be super interesting as well. But most of all, we've got Kerapac, which is going to be a really interesting fight. And I'm going to go into a bit more about the Nodon front battle from what we've got on the Rune Wiki so far. So, there's some things that you can get hold of which are super interesting. So I'm going to go on here and show you. So, yeah, there isn't obviously that much information at the moment, just because we are still learning the information. That's kind of what happens with the new stuff. For example, there's not really much drops. Is there a strategy? No. So basically what we know is with normal mode there are 3 phases for Kerapac the Boudn, and for hard mode there are 4 phases. Now, each phase, of course, as typical RuneScape fashion, introduces a new mechanic, which is going to be something that's interesting to take on. Now, the boss uses the Staff of Armadillo by the looks of things, which is yeah, it's one of the Elder artifacts. It's pretty interesting, and I just want to go back to the Nodon front and not lose control a little bit too much. So yeah, like it's a boss. We know that. What I want to go into is the rewards. Now, of course, we don't have drop rates just yet because the boss has only just come out a few minutes ago. But there are Kerapac's wrist wraps, which is tier 85 magic gloves, which for 6 seconds after using the Dragon Breath ability, the combustibility will deal 25% more damage, and it'll deal it instantly as well. So it looks like there's a real focus on trying to get more power armor and just better gear for magic, as we've seen with the spells and stuff. You know, they are working on balancing the magic, like, combat style, because it's been kind of redundant for a while. There's also the Scripture of Jazz, which is a jazz-themed god book with +5 bonus to prayer, +8 bonus to all styles, and Timer of special ability, which causes all ability damage to add up for 10 seconds and deals 20% of that damage to the target. The book will be dropped by Kerapac only, while the pages can be dropped by the Nodon. And this scripture can't be illuminated like the other god books. There is a greater concentrated blast ability codex, which upgrades concentrated blast to deal 70 to 290% total damage ability damage over 1.8 seconds. So yeah, you get fractured pieces of the Staff of Armadillo, which is the first tier 95 weapon, which is exclusive to hard mode. It'll have a special attack instability, which deals 50 to 200% weapon damage and causes each critical strike against the target in the next 30 seconds to have an extra spell. Beyond that, we've got upgrade kits to increase the damage of the Dwarf Multi-Cannon, the Kinetic Cyclone, and the Oldak Coil. Beyond that, we've got, you know, Resident Anema, which is used to upgrade the Pontifact Shadow Ring, and Dragonkin Bones. So that's the drops from the boss. I am going to make a separate video of me attempting and hopefully killing the boss a few times. Figured that I should keep this update video simply just to the update information, and then I'll go and do all that stuff in a separate video which will be up later today. So that's kind of it for this so far. I'm interested to see how the boss turns out, what the mechanics are. Summer sale, so yeah, there's 20% off different items in the marketplace, which is, you know, if that's for you, go for that. I'm not going to focus too much on that Steam news. Now, you can install RuneScape via Steam on Mac, which is something we discussed last week. It's something they were working on. It's now been released, which is cool. The RuneScape team will be taking a much-needed break next week. As a result, there'll be no game update on August the 2nd, which I think is fair enough. Burnout in the games industry is a real thing, and the fact they've been releasing some pretty hefty updates for quite a while now, very consistently, don't blame them needing a break. So there won't be an update video next week, which is super interesting. I'll have to find something else to go in there. But yeah, also the beach will close on the 8th of August, meaning that if you want to get more of the dungeoneering haul done, you're going to want to just sit there for the next, what, week and a half or so, 2 weeks. Anyway, on to patch notes. So for mobile, they've improved the spacing between icons on the top left of the mobile interface. They fixed a double XP banner, which will no longer overlap the ports interface, fixed an issue where ability icons were cut off at the bottom of the screen in the abilities tab, and the plus keys button on the store no longer redirects to the main menu, will now open the purchase key screen as expected. Some improvements to the Berthorpe path. So the breadcrumb trail leading to the cave trolls during the Berthorpe path now behaves similarly to the trails of other wandering NPCs in the area. The default ribbon for desktop players has changed to be more helpful to new players. So on the top row you'll find activity tracker, backpack, worn equipment, skills. So this is the ribbon for desktop players. Well, I'm on desktop, so let's have a look and see if that has changed. If we can log on. Brilliant. I'm not sure. Let me just have another read through that and just see what it says. Hey, someone there's got a kill. Nice. Congrats, man. So you'll find activity tracker, backpack, worn equipment. It's a default ribbon. Okay, got you. I've not got the default one. And then on the bottom row is going to be hero customizations, adventurers, powers, socials, etc, etc. Other improvements: Slayer task streaks can now increase beyond 16,000, and the correct amount of Slayer points will now be awarded upon task completion. Other fixes are tooltips for bank preset buttons now appear as expected, and the towel outfit will no longer recolor your choice of default outfit colors. Okay, nothing too much for me. Tooltips for bank preset buttons now appear as expected. Has there been an issue with the bank preset buttons? Let me have a look. I mean, if there was, they've been fixed. I just want to see if anything's changed on here. Looks all fine to me. But again, people have errors and stuff and issues. Like, just because I don't have that issue doesn't mean it's not an issue. Yeah, upcoming live streams. Monday the 26th of July, which is today at 4 PM game time, there is going to be a Node on Front live stream, which is going to be really cool. I'll probably check that out, to be honest. It'll be quite interesting. So they'll be taking on the Node on Front in real time. And there'll be no live streams during the week beginning August 2nd because of the summer break that they're having. Finally, in the community RuneTube, how did the Node-on get so good at siege weaponry anyway? Well, they'll probably start by learning invention. They're going and just talking about Protox. We're going to ignore that. No, to be fair, I do like Protox's videos. I won't cry. Back in the day when, you know, I did this before, me and Protox were on a very similar subscriber count and view account, and it was, I always had like a little sort of internal competition with that, and then of course I had to stop to focus on my studies, and now you see where he's at, and it's really cool, and I'm very glad for him. It's just, when you look at it, you think, oh, that could have been me. But anyway, the art for the RuneScape community is really cool. People do some really awesome art, so that's what this is. I mean, it's a bit sus. I don't know what Kermit's doing over there, but you know, he can just do his thing. Yeah, there's the art. Presley does some of the coolest art in this like game as well. Like, if you don't already follow him on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff, like, do it, because like his content is just brilliant. And finally, the Pink Skirts events are Hellweir, which is going to be on the 31st of July from 8 till 9 game time on World 88, and you're going to want to meet in the Seren lobby. And then there's a Skill and Chill, which is going to be on the 8th of August from 7 till 8 game time on World 11 at the Lumbridge Crater, which I guess is going to be the final spam out of getting the beach activity stuff, or I may as well just say get your dungeoneering experience, because that's all I ever see anyone doing. Finally, some screenshots from Instascape, which, you know, just people taking some cool screenshots in game. Yeah, so also, yep, community shout out to this week's shout out being for the skilling community on Discord. So yeah, I've started using Discord for RuneScape a lot more. It's very helpful for me. I think anyone who's a little bit sort of hesitant to do it should definitely go ahead with it, because I find it really useful. I'm sure you guys will too. Anyway, I figured I would, you know, just blast through this real quick because I want to get to Kerapac. People have been getting the kills. 2-minute kill. Holy shit, man. Right, I'm going straight in. I'm going to get cracking on. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in about 3 or 4 hours for the next video.